Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties. Hopefully it has been fixed. Let us know, please, in the comment section if you can hear us. Okay. Apologize for that. I will go ahead and blame Tom because he put us in the basement.
Yeah,
Definitely Tom's fault.
Definitely Tom.
Yep.
It's a setup. It's like,
It's a
yeah,
setup.
if you
Yeah.
get to 100 episodes on my watch, motherfucker.
Uh-huh. How dare you pass up our podcast numbers? Welcome to the episode 99 of the Politically Correcting Podcast with me, the Jose Pio. Let's get through this. Unlike the last time.
Well, you didn't even say my name. So you fucked
Oh, my
up.
bad. And my co-host, along with my co-host, Lavelle Lewis.
Gia.
Austin on the ones and twos.
Gia.
And let's toast. Let's toast for our ability. I'm sorry. Let's toast
You are fucking take 3.
to our ability. I messed up. That whole freaking first one messed me up.
Start it
Got me
over.
all jacked up.
Roll it back. Hold on. I'll get the video
This
going.
freaking redo has me all kinds of jacked up. I swore I could have done it without my notes. I always have to go through the notes. Let's toast to our ability to share a drink with friends, have open and honest dialogue, and always striving to walk away still being friends. Salud.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Yeah, and you can't reopen.
I tried.
Make the noise. We should have the noise.
Yeah, I should just have that like as a thing, but
Yeah.
That's not gonna work, dude.
I
Look at you.
didn't do it.
You
I
look
didn't do
ridiculous with this.
nailed it.
I appreciate everyone jumping back on. Sorry for the difficulty there. We literally, what did we actually do when we got back off? Nothing.
I unplugged it
And plugged it back in.
works.
Plugged it back in.
Boom, look at that.
Always works every
Yep.
time.
Every time. Well, this helps us to actually start the podcast off right
Mhm.
with our videos of the week because you're getting a 2 for this beautiful day.
All right, ready?
This is a video, you keep playing it, video of protests in Canada of parents protesting in the streets about what's going on with their children in the schools.
This is a war on the children. They can't let go with the sickness. This is a war. This is a war. Home of the slave till the crickets make a sound. Where's the boat?
The song sucks. Go ahead, stop it.
We all have to.
Now this looks great, right? But I'm telling you right now, peacefully protesting accomplishes absolutely nothing in this country.
You got to rip shit up?
That was a different country.
The far left is cemented in their beliefs. Yeah, that's Canada, by
You're
the way.
right. Yeah.
But the far left is cemented in their beliefs. You're not going to change their mind. So protesting like that does nothing. Absolutely nothing. For example, let's get to the next video to show exactly that. This is your girl, AOC, with, I forget who that guy is, but
I think that there are 3 points of consensus here that are very important in getting a
I hate her
solution to this
voice.
issue. The first is that there is consensus here across geography and states on increased federal resources to cities and municipalities dealing with this issue. The second is to allow for work authorizations so that the folks in here can get to work and start supporting themselves as soon as possible. They are prevented from getting jobs, they are prevented from employment, and that is part of the strain on our public systems. The faster that folks can access the work that they're asking for legally, the better we can solve this problem. And the third,
so you hear what's happening back there. Well,
temporary protected status for Venezuelans who are the largest population that are arriving here.
all right. So you hear the people in the background, right? They're literally yelling at her, saying, close the border. That's their answer, is to close the border. I think most people would say, you know what? Probably the best thing right now is to just close the border. It's kind of like when you have a water leak in the basement, the best thing to do is just shut off the water instead of saying, you know what, the water's here. I might as well just, build myself a raft and, swim around in it. No, close the freaking border. But you hear them in the background. I'm sorry, you hear them saying close the border. You hear her saying what? We need money in these cities who are dealing with this influx. We need to get them jobs quickly, and we need to get resources here. We also need to help the Venezuelans, who are the vast majority. Again, how are Venezuelans our top illegal immigrants? You know how far Venezuela is from America? Google search that, please. How far is Venezuela from El Paso? Let's give that as one of the most southernest points for them to come in.
Well,
It may not be, but
the
they'll put
main
that
thing
there.
is how did Venezuela get to where it was? I mean, we did kind of, I don't know. I don't know if the CIA had something to do with Hugo Chavez getting, Fucked up.
Go ahead.
3,084 miles.
3,084 miles. All right. So 3,084 miles. How many miles can a person walk? A standard person walk in a day?
Is it even? I don't even
Or
know.
whatever
like,
may in an
isn't
hour.
Venezuela like kind of like in the water a little bit?
It's in South freaking America.
South-
South America.
Like where though? Like, can we see the map?
Of where Venezuela is?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
All right.
Not too-
20 to 30 miles in a day. So let's go in the
Map
middle.
it.
25 miles per day. You look that up. So it's 3,000. How many?
84.
3,084. 3,084 miles divided by 25 miles in a day a normal person can walk in a day. That means 124 days. 124 days it would take for you to get to Texas.
It's all worth it.
With what? With what? With what water? With what food?
Maybe they got a scooter.
Fine. Scooter. With what water, what food to cut it down? Let's say half of that. Let's go half of that would be 62 days.
They hitchhike on trains.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro. I appreciate you trying to make excuses there. Are you showing the map of Venezuela for everyone else to
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
That's hella far. That's close. That's further than freaking Puerto Rico. That's further than Curacao. What'd you say?
I said this is El Paso. I pointed right there.
Yeah. So maybe Miami's closer.
Yep. Yep.
But they're not getting through Miami.
They're not. They're
Well, they'd
going
have to-
through Texas.
Pass through the Caribbean to do that.
They're
yeah.
making it through the cartel. No one's getting picked
Dude,
off.
and
by
that
the
doesn't
cartel.
include the fact that there's mountains, rivers, the Panama freaking Canal.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
So,
We're getting all
anyways,
these new residents.
so let me. I'm gonna get on my political freaking soapbox here. So go ahead and zoom in here on the Jose Pio. All right. To break the cycle of political stagnation, we must encourage Democrats to embrace change, no matter the political party. Whether that be for Libertarian or Republican, is not just about voting someone out, as pushing someone to do something they normally don't does not have the same power as pulling or motivating them to want to do it for themselves. It's about inspiring people with excitement towards a candidate who can break the chains of the status quo, which is how the far left have done it, even though it was libertarians who started it with the Occupy Wall Street movement and the sentiment that went with that. This is why we witness the same old patterns repeating themselves at the polls, even when it's against their own better judgment, because we have to match that same energy of the far left radicals in an equal yet opposite direction. If they are willing to destroy to get their way, we must show them what it looks like to build it on our own. And that's exactly what we are doing with this podcast and our radio show, and why we're about to hit our 100th episode next week. It's a huge freaking monumental thing because most podcasts, I looked it up, most podcasts don't go past 20. 95% of podcasts do not make it past 20 episodes.
So you're saying we
are the
good?
change that the people need.
We're good.
We're having the conversations that people need to hear. We are understanding that there is, even though there is a difference between Republicans,
Mm-hmm.
far left freaking,
Extremists.
Satanists,
Yeah.
and common sense individuals like myself.
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference there, but there's a commonality at some point where there can be a conversation that can be had where we still, even though we may disagree, there's still something in the middle where we're going to find a way to push forward. There are people out there who are far left, far right. They exist. And I did it this way because people who are on camera are seeing the opposite way. That's why I did it. Far left and far right. Those extremes exist. We must sit here, but at the same time, we must go by the same rules that they're playing. We can't freaking make our own game, right? If they're playing by their own rules over here, all right, cool. We'll play by our own rules to the same game, do our own thing, and collect as many tokens as we can. The tokens are the people. We're going to keep absorbing them underneath our ideology, saying, do you want your family to grow up in the city that we're in right now? Is this okay with you? No, the answer is no, right? Okay, so automatically for the past 25 years, let's say, the city has gone Democrat. For the past let's go 3 years. The city has gone far left. What we see today is worse than what we saw 30 years ago. That's a fact. What we've seen today is way worse. We have the ability to bring it back. We have to go not a little bit at the time, a little bit at a time at this point right now, because in the past 3 years, we've gone from we are all about this, all about that, to defund police, abolish police at some point, freaking invest all of our money into preventing kids, paying kids to not, break the law. Instead of going to the grocery store and just grabbing what you want, now things are going behind locked doors. You have to call somebody to freaking get something delivered to you, or go on an app to get something delivered, because how dare you want to leave your house, because you'll probably get robbed, or your car will get stolen, or you might get shot, or someone in a stolen Kia, a stolen Hyundai might just crash into you.
Yeah.
There's no positives, right? I'm a lover of Rochester. I love Rochester. Rochester's my hometown. Rochester's my city. I love it. And we have so much going for us. But right now, where we are, for me to say that is a very tough town to still want to live in. It's not a town, it's a city, I get it. But it's still a tough area for me to want to raise a family in and to stay in when I have a lot of opportunity anywhere else. I can go anywhere else and be a lot better off than where I am right now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Jump in on that. I went off on a whole
No. I mean, what
tirade
you said,
there.
What you said earlier on the radio show, which people should tune in on
92.1 FM, 1040 AM.
Monday, Wednesdays, 1
1
and 2 p.m. We have people within our city government that wants to abolish our RPD and just go to Monroe County Sheriff, right? Is that what you said?
There's people that want to integrate RPD with the sheriff, so there's no more RPD.
So there's no more RPD, right? So I don't think you want that, because then you're one step away from state, right? So if you eliminate the city local, then you go to the county. Now once you eliminate the county, because the county ain't gonna be able to, stop the crime, because it's very expensive, first of all, to fight crime. That's why we have very minimal police officers today on the force. So as that bill gets expensive, and you are, you're forcing the surrounding county, folks, the surrounding suburbs to foot the bill for city problems.
Yep, because
So
those problems aren't as bad over there. So where is the attention
Right.
going to be?
Exactly. The town of Henrietta doesn't even have their own police force.
And it's getting worse out there.
It's getting worse.
We had a caller on the radio show today that's talking about what's happening in her kid's school, what's happening in her neighborhood. It's getting really bad out there.
Yeah.
Striker's on his 110th
Yeah, he won up
episode.
He won up you.
And then, no, hold on. I love you, Striker. I love you. But we haven't hit a 100th episode yet. We've been picked up by the radio, which is huge. And we have a huge announcement next week. Huge announcement next week. I talked about it with you. I haven't really told you about it, but
Yeah, you gave me some insight.
he knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You've known what I wanted from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I've always said I want to be the Howard Stern of Rochester radio, meaning I want people to be, I don't want to say agitated to the point where, they're mad. I want to be uncomfortable. I want people to be uncomfortable with being pushed beyond what they believe, because a lot of people in the city believe a certain way. And as soon as you, put a little bit of a different thought inside of them, they start backing up. And I have conversations with the far left more often than I do with the, let's say, normies on city council, right? I talk with them a lot, a lot. We discuss things, and they tell me like, hey, I don't want to say they're thankful for me to be working with them, because I'm not really working with them. I'm working with anyone who will have a conversation. If you're willing to sit down and have a conversation and talk things out, what is your motivation behind this? What do you think we need to do from this point to that point? What happens between there that you believe will get us to the point where we will get what we want? For the most part, we disagree, right? Me and the far left, we disagree on a lot of things. But the outcome tends to be very similar. We want families to succeed. We want our kids to have good education.
Do the far left want families to succeed?
They want it in a different way. They want people to succeed in a way where we're all the same.
I don't know. I don't think they want families to succeed, bro. Because if
They don't want everyone being Wegmans level, but they want everyone to be Jose and Lavelle level, let's say,
I don't even think
where it's enough to get by, a little bit extra, nothing too crazy.
Man, first of all, I do not trust the far left in anything when it comes to my family, anything when it comes to my own personal body.
But they can say the same thing with the far right.
No, they can't.
They can. They will.
They're right now, their main agenda is to, number one, they're targeting our kids, our youth, beyond anything we've ever seen before. Everything is directed toward the youth to pull the youth away from the family itself.
They're not targeting the youth. They're using the youth.
They're right,
using them.
Yeah, they're using them, and they're targets.
And who's allowing it?
Well, shit. First of all, we allow it by
exactly.
Number one.
So stop them.
We are letting them use this device right here. That's the
You're
number
saying
one
we.
tool.
Who's we?
Well, anybody that has a parent, that's a parent,
right?
Make sure you focus on your kids. But again, when I'm talking about in general, within just this argument, not for me, myself, my own personal kids, my kids, they're not with the bullshit.
Okay,
they get
cool,
it. They
good.
see it.
You raise them right.
Right. And that's definitely an impression on myself. But everybody is not the same as myself. So again, their agenda is to find those families that are weak, that does not have that security blanket around their kids, that don't care, that just will allow their kids to be babysat by a device, tablet, cell phone.
So what are the Republicans going to do on the opposite side?
Well, shit, who knows? Maybe they can.
Who knows? We know what they're going to do. Not a damn thing. You guys refuse to go in the city.
I will say this: the Republican leaders, they need to listen to the people that is voting for them, because there's a lot of folks. There's a lot of folks within the Republican Party on a grassroots level that are organizing themselves.
Right.
So eventually, the leaders are going to come out of these groups and are going to say bye-bye to these career politicians that are still within the Republican Party. So some Republican leaders are actually paying attention and are trying to speak to their constituents.
Is that going to start this weekend? Because your vote is this Saturday, right? For who's going to be the Republican leader?
Oh, for the chairman?
Yeah. It's this Saturday.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m.
Yeah,
7 a.m.
Who wins that? That's crazy. Whoever wins that, though, I think they'll be the candidates that are up and running. I think they are either way. They're
for
good.
that position.
Yeah, for that.
Who
position.
are they? Pat Riley,
and the other guy who's in there right now. He's an intern guy, because they had
the fact that you don't know is probably not very good for him.
No, because the only person I know is Pat Riley, who that's the person that
I'm gonna guess that's probably who you would support. Okay,
exactly. And I've met Pat Riley. I know Pat Riley.
I've talked to Pat Riley. Right. I know Pat Riley. I think for him to be, and he said to me that, and I've talked to him, where he said we need more. He used the term black and brown. I don't like that.
Come on, what he's gonna do? Staub.
I'm not gonna.
There you go. Thanks, Emily. Staub is the other guy.
Larry
Staub.
Yep. Yeah. He might have not used black and brown. Whatever it may have been.
What are you gonna do? What? Nobody knows what to say. Like, people ask me all the time, do I call you African American or black?
Is black capitalized or lowercase b?
I thought it was B.
Is it lowercase b or capital B?
I don't know. Do white people use the capital?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a capital H. The
capital
way
with a monocle.
What?
No, I think either way.
So let me give
the party will be in good hands.
I want to make sure, because there's a lot of Republicans that watch this because of you. So I blame you for this.
That's good.
Sure. You guys are pussies for not coming into the city.
First of all, don't say you guys.
You guys.
No, you guys. Those guys. I'm in the city.
Okay. So what are you going to do about it?
What I'm going to do about it? I'm going to continue to do my work and speak my truth and speak for myself. Mm-hmm. What I want as a black Republican is to hear.
What is that?
Quote unquote
black Republican?
Black Republican, because we're a thing. We are a thing. We're
are
like
you not
unicorns.
Black? Are you not black?
No,
are you not
black.
Republican? Oh, okay.
I'm black, absolutely. But we're unicorns. But what I'm looking for is the party itself to speak to people like me. We exist.
Mm-hmm. It's Joe Pinion. That's my boy. I love Joe Pinion.
He's the only one.
He really is.
But still, even with him, I do see a lot of folks within the party just use him and his name, right? As
it feels like there's token black guys. Randomly.
I don't think he's a token.
Well, no, he's not. But the there's a twins, Hodge twins.
Oh,
right?
they're not token. They're awesome. I love them.
What I'm saying is that they'll uplift them and say, yeah, keep talking. But yet on the granular level, on the micro level, who are they supporting here locally besides you?
I don't even think the Republican leaders who are like in office right now, I don't even think they know they exist. I think the Hodge twins speak on a lower level. They speak to the folks who are on social media, the people like myself who know who they are. And I bet if you reference them to like a political leader, a Republican leader, they wouldn't know who they are.
Well, let me give a hint out to those of you out there. The big news is that we will be very much speaking to people who are minorities in the city of Rochester. Good way to put it.
I guess that's what we are.
I mean, that's what we are, but doesn't mean we hit people. I hit people in all across the country. We hit Alaska, we hit California, we hit Colorado, Texas, and then a lot of New York. I like digging through the numbers. I don't care about how many followers we have because I'm more about like quality versus quantity. But the amount of viewers that we have throughout the week who listen in, I'm very proud of it. Very proud of what we're doing.
Me too.
And I think people are really catching on and saying, shit, like we've been sleeping on this. And then they come out with like, Love and some other podcast.
Oh, those two.
I'm not going to talk about them. But let's talk about how they will attack, because they will attack people like us. And they attacked Russell Brand.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Recently.
Let's see what's going on with him. Don't speak out on Big Pharma, man. They're coming.
This is what happens when you speak out right here. And this is what really like gets to people. The fact that if you were to speak out and you were to gain a following and you were to have enough followers who are sitting there saying, man, he kind of makes sense, because he was I wouldn't say far left. He was certainly liberal, like not in the traditional sense, but more on the, new age sense of liberal. But it says YouTube demonetizes Russell Brand over alleged sexual misconduct from a decade ago.
Yeah, that's
so I want to break that down so that people understand, because people will automatically hear that and be like, well, yeah, I mean, if someone's a rapist, they should definitely be not on YouTube, because how dare they, right? All right, so let's break this down. YouTube demonetizes, right? So they took away Russell Brand's ability to make money because of what? Alleged sexual misconduct. So first of all, it's alleged, meaning he hasn't gone through court yet. If there is even a court that would pick this up, I don't even know if you can be charged later on for sexual misconduct, not sexual molestation, not sexual rape, sexual misconduct.
I will say in the body of the article here, it says sexual assault.
A sexual assault over a decade ago in what Brand was called a coordinated attack, right? So it says several women. How long has Russell Brand been out in and around everywhere, right? He people know him.
Yeah.
He's been in some pretty high caliber movies that I've seen.
Well, fuck YouTube, because they demonetized the guys who they call misogynists, right? I forgot the group name, but they called them misogynists, and
the whole group,
the whole group. You've
not
seen
the Tate brothers. So
is that what they call? Those are the Tate brothers.
I mean Andrew
not the Tate brothers. No, it was another group of guys. They were making a whole bunch of content, and they were just talking about masculine versus feminine, and they just
you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that.
No, so this is YouTube's bullshit continuing, which I'm wondering what's going to happen to us. I mean, you know what it is? Until we get that following, once we get the followers, the million views, when they see that you can make an
I don't want that. Do you want that?
What?
I don't want that.
I think so. I think
I don't want 1 million followers.
I would definitely like 1 million followers.
Really?
Why? Because you are reaching a lot more people. Your message is impactful, and you're punching the matrix in the face.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I believe that you're overlapping with other people who are doing the same exact thing.
Fuck
so
that.
Candace Owens, or Andrew Tate, let's say, let's throw in, I don't know, the whatever guys. They're all doing the same kind of thing. We're doing it on a more micro level. And that's why I say I don't really care about millions. I'm more about, if I would say I'd be happy. I say happy. There's no such thing as happy, I think, with how many followers you have. I mean,
be content.
I wouldn't even be content with it either. I think that if we say 5,000 people, were to be subscribed, not just listen in, because we have thousands of people who actually listen into what we're talking about. But when it talks about subscription, where enough people get alerts every single time and say, I'm going to watch when this gets me an alert. I think 5,000, you can start an army with that, like a badass army. And if they're all in New York, bro, especially if they're all in Western New York, come on, bro. We're that's a killer at that point.
Yeah, well,
you don't agree?
No, I don't, because I think if you want to really be a rage against the machine, you have to have the influence. The reason why this is some of the greats, right? Like Michael Jackson. They never wanted Michael Jackson to speak his mind because they knew that any man that could stand up on stage for 15 minutes and have people pass out without saying a word is very powerful. The powerful individuals who have the ability to move a large group is powerful. That's why Trump is in trouble for January 6th.
Right.
They literally said he caused an insurrection.
Mind you, what did they actually try the guys with? What was it that they said? Seditious.
What the fuck are these charges coming from?
Seditious insurrection? Seditious
something.
Yeah.
So they broke into a office building that was a federal office building and sat down for the most part. I mean, there was some deaths, but it was not that day. And it wasn't at the hands of those who were at the event.
Would you consider them to be domestic terrorists?
Would I consider them? I would consider at least 2 of the people in that crowd to be domestic terrorists.
Define a domestic terrorist.
Someone who antagonizes other people to go against their own country in a way that would be destructive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those 2 who were in the crowd may not have been the same 2 who were inside the Capitol building.
All right, so I'm going to go further. 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
They were terrorists?
Which ones?
I don't know. Whatever ones they said did the job.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So we're comparing them to these guys?
Well, I think there is a vast difference there. I think terrorists would be someone who attacks anywhere in the country, while what was the first? What do you quote them?
Domestic
terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say they're hitting it from the inside, meaning that they're attacking our republic.
Yes, but this is
not meaning a physical property.
Yeah, right.
But the actual.
Right. And this is the bullshit that I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
This is the shit that I see that's happening, where we as citizens have to be 100% concerned about, because
What's that?
there is nothing stopping our federal government to mince words. If they're willing to say Donald Trump they're going to try and press RICO charges on Donald Trump, which is complete bullshit.
Stupid.
Right? Then any citizen that decides to protest against their government, you will now all of a sudden be labeled as a domestic terrorist. If in fact, within that current moment in time, you speak against the current narrative that our federal government wants to send our country, if you speak against it, you will be considered a domestic terrorist.
That same energy.
That is no different than any dictator, any tyrannical country is doing to their citizens. We are doing it the same thing.
Exactly. If you were to have the same energy, it would make sense. Meaning the people who showed up to the Supreme Court Justice's house when they overturned Roe v. Wade, because you can't go to a Supreme Court Justice's house, their personal house. That's literally against the law. But not a single one of them got tried.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, some people showed up to the Congress, and I forget, they broke in and sat in someone's office, some freaking jabroni's office, and sat down with a shirt that says like HIV lives matter or some shit like that. And they were freaking protesting in there because of whatever. Well, you just broke into Congress. You just went into someone's private office and you sat. How much different is that from the January 6th people? I already know there's gonna be a million freaking liberals out there, far left people, who are gonna sit there and say, "You're equating this to that? How dare you? That's totally different." It's not freaking different. It's not different.
There's no difference.
Oh, I got a hot tip here. Go ahead through your thing.
However, with with that said, though, it just depends on who's in power.
Right. That's a problem, though.
Yes,
Because
that's
as soon as someone
problem.
else is in power, they can do the same thing. And that's what Trump is doing right now. He's saying that as soon as he's in power, he's going to go after the other side. And that's the scary thing that many people are very afraid of.
It depends on how he goes after the other side.
He wants to jail them.
You're not going to do that unless you have, 100% proof of treason, which I think we could find that within this current administration.
Yeah,
I think so.
We had a caller that called that in too.
Yeah, if you want to go back and look into the Obama administration and that money they took from China, right? I mean, that's
allegedly
right.
There's been people that spoke about it, including my boy Leonardo DiCaprio.
You know what I mean?
He said it.
So there are things that's happening that's not within the mainstream media that we're not talking about. We talk about that shit, but the everyday, individuals,
and that's why people need to listen to the podcast, because they need to hear this kind of stuff.
Just saying,
including Republicans out there who did not get this email. I got a email forwarded to me from a Mr. Larry Staub. Now, again, I don't know what this email says. I have no idea what is included in here, whether it's good or bad. I'm just letting you know. This was forwarded to me, and they said, hey, this is a hot tip right here. Let's read it. It says, "It's my pleasure to deliver some great news. The $50,000 promissory note, which is owed by the Monroe County Republican Committee campaign account to former Chairman Bernard Iacovangelo, will be paid off in full. The loan is currently in default since July and is now subject to the default interest rate of 15% rather than the contract rate of 4%. Since assuming the leadership of our party," this is Larry Staub again, "as acting chairman following former Chairman Dunning's resignation on August 28th, the promissory note has been a pressing concern of mine. Paying it off has been a top priority. Last Friday, New York Republican State Chairman Ed Cox flew into Rochester in advance of the Ontario County Republican Committee's Constitution Day dinner scheduled for that evening." Was that the one you went to?
Yeah.
Was it boring as hell?
In Geneva?
Is that it says Ontario County.
Yeah, yep, that was it. I was there.
Was it boring? It
Very.
sounds boring.
It was very boring.
Was it milk toast?
What the fuck is milk toast?
The most boringest thing ever.
No, it wasn't. It was. I tell you what. After it was over, like the networking conversating, that was cool. But
okay,
I did feel like I was like in 1986 again. Reaganomics, all those things.
Yeah, but a lot of people were really anticipating Reagan, though. They were really happy about him.
Yeah, Reagan's not going to rise from that, and he really wasn't all that as a president. Just saying. As a black Republican, let's not talk about Iran contraband and
no quotes on that one.
Dare, yeah, no.
Okay.
Dare for war on drugs, flood the streets and inner cities of cocaine to fund wars.
Allegedly.
Yesterday, I drove to Albany for the New York Republican State Committee's organization meeting. Chairman Cox took me aside and told me that after spending the day with me last Friday, he was convinced that we have a plan for success, and the state Republican Party has decided to make a $50,000 investment in the Monroe County Republican Committee. I will be directing this money to pay off the $50,000 promissory note and give us a fresh start. This is a huge relief and provides us a great opportunity to raise money for our candidates and campaign efforts without the looming specter of debt hanging over us. It affords us a new beginning. I'm very appreciative of Chairman Cox and the confidence that this prioritized funding demonstrates. Thank you for your continued effort on behalf of our Republican Party and our candidates. Our committee members are the soul of our... Why do they have a $50,000 loan?
Hell, man, they need money for elections.
From who?
It probably went to somebody's campaign. Someone's failed campaign, possibly, or just probably spread the money out. But that is a good move for Larry.
You think that's a positive? I honestly, I don't know anything about this because Democrats usually have, like $1 million in there.
I think it's a positive for the established Republicans, the people who, who've been there for God knows how long, the traditional Republicans.
But do you think that's why they weren't getting money into their campaign?
I don't know. I really don't know. But within just the game of politics right now, if you're going to one up your other guy, this is your way of one-ing up your other guy. I'm able to go ahead and get something done take care of a debt, and I'm taking over for someone. So, but like I said, I 100% support Pat Riley. I've met him a couple times. I've spoken to him.
You're endorsing him here vocally.
Completely. Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll endorse.
You're going against what the people of the Republican Party are saying?
Well, yeah, I don't know Larry. I'm gonna go with the,
He's never called you, never talked to him?
No.
See, that's how I am too. Like I'm not gonna name any names. There's many Democrats that people, Democrats are freaking, licking their ball sack about. And I'm like, I've never met this person. They've never talked to me. They never helped me out. They never pushed anything that benefited me or my family. Why do I give a single F about?
Yeah. Well, what I will say though, I've heard some things about Larry, and I've heard, where he's from. He definitely understands the city. He understands the importance of the city of Rochester. So it's not a place where he's going to kind of dismiss.
So what's the importance of them to? How is Rochester important to the Republican Party? Because we used to be Republican, yes, and 30 years ago, but you guys haven't won a single thing since then.
Well, you want to know why? Because the crime that happens within the inner city, it's spilling out into their areas.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I am mistaken. There was a senator, no, because he switched, but then he won the second time. Senator Roebuck.
Oh yes,
he won as a Democrat, switched to Republican, and then re-ran, and then won the re-election.
Yeah, and he's a phenomenal Republican.
Oh, so you like Roebuck?
Oh, I do. I mean, here's why I like Roebuck. The radio, DKX.
Uh-huh. He was the only one that was on.
He was the only Republican that I heard on that radio station faithfully. Like, he was like part of the show almost every Saturday.
Should we try to get on?
Absolutely.
Reach out to your guy.
Who?
I don't know. Yeah, figure out.
You got a guy? I got a guy?
You got a guy. You're black.
I don't got a guy. I don't got a guy. Not in these realms yet.
Not in this one. All right.
Not yet. Not within the political realm. But I do appreciate Roebuck and the work he did and how upfront he was, and he was present within anything that was going on within the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember, this is the one thing that I thought was pretty cool of him, when one of the longtime radio hosts on that show, Tony Bowler, passed away, and they dedicated the Cobbs Hill basketball courts to him. Roebuck was instrumental in getting that done, and he was working with DKX, and he made sure that they paid tribute to him, and he did it right because he was on the show with them. He was friends with the folks on that show. So, and that's the thing with Republicans today. And this is one thing that I was kind of disappointed in not hearing at the committee dinner last week.
The boring ass one?
Yeah.
The milk toast one?
There wasn't any mention of any type of considered any type of efforts to reach Black Republican or potential Black voters, right? They're strictly on Hispanic, strictly on Asian, Jewish voters.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month. I mean,
right? But
give us
still,
something here, jeez.
But still, being the lone. Actually, no, it was like maybe there was 2 Black people, and then there was like some other colored folks, but they weren't Black. They were like something else sprinkled within there. But still, I don't think they're paying attention to what's going on within the Trump movement. There are a lot of Black folks who like Trump.
Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that online, or are you seeing that locally? Because you can always have a video of a Black guy in Florida saying that versus a Black guy in New York.
For what we see on social media, it's not too far removed from what's going on locally. And I say this.
So
I say this. That doesn't
make any sense. You're saying that online is true. Everything you see online is true.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying though, there is a movement of Black voters to the Republican side.
I don't disagree.
Right. And so what I do think within the Republican Party.
But is that here in New York?
There is. I do think so. I do think so. And what needs to happen is that there needs to be like-minded people that look like us, that are not afraid to go into specific areas of the city and have these conversations. Because the one thing the Republican Party is failing right now is they're underestimating the problems that's going on, and they're not speaking directly to these folks about these problems that You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because the
no
guest
one
we had
wants
on
to
earlier.
be robbed. No one likes getting robbed. Nobody.
I got to bring up the guest we had earlier, Mark Assini, the interview that we had with him on our radio show today, which you can go to wysl1040.com and listen to. He didn't sway me. There was nothing about the answers that he gave was very persuasive. The conversation that we have had before about, all right, you're running against Adam Bello, you know, what are you going to do about Shalat? You know, what are some things that you have in mind for that? Didn't persuade me. The fact of the matter that he said that when he said he was going out and doing the marches with Clay Harris and the pastors, okay, those are Republican pastors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's the same Republicans that show up for the same things. What are you actually doing outside of the same exact thing that every Republican does, which is show up to the same Republican pastors?
Well, why do the Republicans got to do something outside of what the fuck Democrats do?
Why don't you go into where the Democrats are like congregating?
Just like what you said, they're not going to pay attention. They're not going to give a damn
Why
what
not?
they say.
We can walk into anywhere and have attention.
Yeah, that's because you and I, right? You and I.
See why it's this unity?
You and I.
No, because we got the it factor. Because we can do whatever fuck we want.
But they don't.
They don't.
But
so why do they keep putting them forward?
Hey, listen, I have no idea about that. But what I will say
that's an issue. You need to bring it up to them.
But within time, let's hope.
Not within time. How much time you got?
Listen,
how
within
much more time
we
got?
hope. I can't listen. I can only do so much.
How old is your youngest?
I'm just now
how
stepping
old is
into
your
this
youngest?
party. 11.
All right, so you got another 7 years before he's out in the world, going based off of what he's learned for the past 18 years. It won't take
that long. It won't take that long, and I'm not going to succumb to any type of fear or anxiety of what's going on right now.
You got 7 weeks left for the next election.
It's going to take time, but it will take the right candidate to get out there. Like you said.
Do you think there's one right now? Who's the right candidate? Who's running right now?
No.
All right, there you go.
No.
And then next year we have the presidential.
To be able to go
election,
to be able to go into hoods and convince people to vote Republican, no. But
I would agree.
What it will take though, it will take on a grassroots level, folks like myself.
So you're saying you want to run for something?
I'm not saying I'm going to run for anything.
That's what I'm hearing in my head is that you want to run for something.
I'm saying,
do you guys think that he should run for something? Put it in the comments if he should run for something.
What I'm saying is I am all game for, first of all, educating people on what it means to be conservative. Fuck the actual R or D.
There's nothing for you to wait for, though. You can do that right now.
Right. That's what we're working towards.
I know you are. I've seen it. I've heard it.
Right. So,
but you're the only one.
Hey, that's what leaders do, bro. You go out alone, and hopefully, folks will follow.
I heard that point.
Hopefully, folks will follow. Like my man Macho Man Randy Savage said,
the cream rises
to the top.
Find a way to bring that into the podcast. I love it. Speaking of the cream rising to the top, it's local. It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and locally here, we may be celebrating it. I don't know, because this is my issue, and I've said it vocally, not only here but also on city council and to our mayor. I said I need the same energy that you show for. Let's say, for example, Juneteenth.
Yo, we got a mayor? You said we had a mayor?
Yes. Oh. The same effort you show for Juneteenth. Let's go to freaking the OD Awareness Day when he was at the MLK Park.
I fucking hate Juneteenth.
Right. All smiles on over here, ODing on drugs, all smiles on OD Awareness Day. Let's talk about Pride Month. What was he doing on Pride Month?
Hey,
locally?
Girls.
Right.
Let's do it.
What was he doing on Hispanic Heritage Month? What is going on right now for the city for Hispanic Heritage Month?
Does this shirt say hustle?
It has a word crossed off above it, and then it says hustle underneath. Yes.
Oh, the word that's crossed off is hate.
Oh, hate.
But hate is over hustle.
Hate over hustle.
Don't hate hustle.
I see it as hate is over hustle.
But he crossed off hate.
Yeah, that just means it's badass when you cross something off.
Girls.
Oh, I see. So it's a badass hate hustle.
It's a badass hate over hustle.
Gotcha.
Okay. All I want is same energy.
Yo, look at those biceps, yo.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
I'm surprised he's able to run in those shoes.
I know. It's sideshow pops. That's your guy, Jose.
That's my man. That's
Hey,
my
listen,
man.
I wrote myself in as a mayoral vote for that lovely and
Good job. You came close.
I was listen,
You were
bro.
really close. And you know why you didn't win? Because the Republicans weren't out there, working for you.
Write me in next election, folks.
Don't do that.
Just do it.
Don't do
Do
that.
it like Nike.
There might be someone else running. Don't do that.
I don't stand a chance. I'll have no campaign, but if you want to, stick it to the man. Do you know? Listen, what if they?
He might be the absolute worst friend.
What
Go ahead.
if? What if? Yo, what if they find a way to take Trump off of the ballot? Do you think You think folks will write him in? What if folks write Donald Trump in?
A national write-in? No, not happening. Not happening.
All right, man. I don't know, man.
There's no write-in ballot. There's no paper ballots anyways. Everything's electronic.
No, there is.
They're gonna lose it. They're gonna dump it off somewhere. There's gonna be this freaking truck full of ballots that we just randomly found, and then they're gonna swipe it.
So many mules.
Yeah, so many. Mules.
Oh my gosh.
Let me show off my liberal side for a
Was there
second.
another photo you were gonna show us?
Oh yeah, that was another one with your boy there.
You said you wanted the same energy. I was waiting for
The Hispanic Heritage Month one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's none.
Oh, he didn't even take one?
They didn't. City of Rochester did not post a single.
Really?
Nope.
He fucking hates you, bro. It's you.
He did
hates
it.
you.
There was the event at City Hall, and I was there, and he
Mhm.
did go up on stage saying, I want to make sure, I go through the city council people who are here. He goes, I see Councilman Jose Pio here. He's like, I think that someone else is here, the Miguel Melendez, who they're like this with, how do you do it? Let me do it off screen. Like that.
Oh, there's
Is that?
scissoring.
Oh, no, it's this.
Shit.
It might be, no, it's this.
That is, that's the funniest fucking picture I've ever seen right there. That shit is, duh. 98 million from the school
nice. So you
board.
can't do that. That's not very nice.
98 million from the school board. Where did it go? I don't know where the 98 mil goes.
So let me show off my liberal side for a second with the WWE and UFC merger.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
All right. So the UFC and WWE have merged together.
How does that work?
That's who makes out in that instance? The freaking bankers, man.
That's an old photo
bank on
too
that.
of Triple H because he doesn't have short hair anymore.
He doesn't have long hair anymore.
And no, he doesn't have long hair anymore. And Vince McMahon has a porn stash that is amazing.
Sure. So the article states, while many, first of all, the thing says mass layoffs, over 100 employees cut after UFC WWE merger. Because I keep hearing from people who listen into the podcast that they have no idea what the article is about. So I apologize to those out there. The article states, while many employees were deemed redundant and over 100 people lost their jobs, the top executives from the WWE had big paydays from the merger. According to a previous SEC filing from April, WWE brass had multi-million-dollar bonuses after the merger officially closed. WWE CEO Nick Khan had a bonus of $15 million. One person had a bonus of $15 million. While Chief Content Officer Triple H, with the long hair there, had $5 million, with both amounts payable in full as soon as the merger closed. In total, they had over $20 million in bonuses, yet they cut 100 people.
Well, wrestlers didn't make that much money anyway.
They didn't cut one wrestler.
Oh, they got it. Hey, the show must go on.
I mean,
The show must go on.
that happens in every merger, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not a problem
No.
for you
No,
as
it's
a
not.
resident liberal,
Yeah, it's not a problem for me.
for where you can give out, I believe it was $50 million was the total in bonuses. I'm pretty sure I saw that. $50 million in bonuses.
Were they all WWE employees or were they UFC employees also?
No, all WWE.
Right. You don't need them
Okay.
no more.
So you're telling me that you couldn't keep 100 people on and maybe shave off, I don't know, $1 million off of the bonuses.
Keep them on for how long? Like, why are they laid off? Is it like, do we now just have two people doing the same job that they don't need to do?
As you build the company, don't you think that there's going to be more positions available? Don't you want to build the company, grow the company from where it is right now?
I mean, potentially, but apparently, I mean, they're merging for a reason.
So you're for cutting jobs, is what you're saying. You hate people.
No, I'm saying that sometimes jobs get cut, and that happens.
Right.
Shit happens.
But at the same time, top executives get multi-million-dollar bonuses. Yep. You're okay with that?
Yep.
As a resident liberal, you're okay with that?
Yep. You guys are the one putting that label on me.
I'm the one that's not okay with that. I'm sitting here saying I'm not okay with that.
I know you're not a liberal.
Yeah.
You are one man.
I'm sitting here saying I'm not okay with that, and you guys are both okay with this?
Yeah, you're a Democrat.
Fuck it.
This is not okay.
Listen, I, being the conservative Republican, understand it. Fucking shit happens.
Good
capitalism,
Lord,
bro.
Capitalism.
I
bro.
get the capitalism part. Trust me, I understand why. Yeah. I'm not saying I don't understand why. I'm not sitting here saying that, they should have their jobs forever. But you can't tell me they can't have a job for another, 1 year.
Listen, man. People in unions
because these are people who got, one of them was cut. One of the top executives was cut.
Yeah.
And still got his bonus.
Okay.
Cut prior to the merger and still got his bonus.
But we don't know what these people got. Maybe they got a severance package.
No.
I was gonna say,
No, they got fired.
But maybe they got a severance package.
No, they got fired. I'm telling you, they got fired.
Oh, that's okay.
They did not get a
You
golden
don't know.
parachute.
They probably got
I read the article. I'm telling you.
Give to the point where they say they didn't get paid nothing. Oh,
Get
look
to the
at
point where they
look
get
at the Baphomet sign. Who's throwing up the Baphomet?
that is not
ram
a Baphomet
horns.
sign. You can find that
Look, who's
sign
putting up-
anywhere. I
who's
ain't trying to
doing
hear that. All right, so let's go to my conservative side here. Chicago. Dear Lord, Chicago is a hot mess.
Yeah, Chicago.
Right.
is fucked.
So the new Chicago mayor, which is definitely far left, and this is a topic that actually was brought up in a secret meeting that I had. Let me not tell you who I had it with. Chicago mayor considers creating city-owned grocery store after Walmart and Whole Foods close stores in the city. Chicago is exploring a city-owned grocery store after several closed in the past year, citing millions in annual losses. First of all, can you comprehend how any of these stores would ever have any losses in a city like Chicago or Rochester?
Moving closer and closer to socialism.
Yes, because when you have a city-owned grocery store, that's a problem for me because we have nonprofits in the city that are geared for connecting people with food. We have Food Link, right? That's a major company. You can go to them and your EBT dollars are double what they are. You can go to the downtown Marqueta.
Don't one of your constituents work for Food Link?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
We have a downtown Marqueta, right? Where your EBT dollars go double as well. So you can buy, 2 bananas for the price of 1. Apples, oranges, meat, whatever it may be. This right here is a problem for me. I don't want a city-owned grocery store.
Of course it's a problem.
Because you know who has to pay for that?
Of course, the people.
Right. And when someone steals from there and there's big losses like these companies have had who have the money to put, guards in place, and they're still saying there's so many losses that we need to get the F up out of here. We're talking about Whole Foods and Walmart. We're not talking about freaking, Asian Aid Deli on Dewey Avenue.
No. Well, people are going to be ordering their Walmart groceries from a box anyways. It's going to be all delivery anyway.
From a cell phone. They're ordering from a cell phone.
Instacart it all day now.
Hell yeah, man. Walmart Plus. Do that all the time.
The fact that they had a Whole Foods in Chicago, in the city of Chicago, was that's pretty, crazy.
I'm going to tell you my story of Sunday. My wife decided that she's going to send me to go pick up groceries for the curbside pickup at Wegmans.
You fucked that up?
Oh, I fucked it up.
You suck, man.
I don't suck.
What are you doing, bro?
Suck.
You making us look bad.
Don't start.
Okay.
Don't start. Have you ever been there?
Which Wegmans?
The one on Dewey. Do you know where the you've never even been there. The one on Dewey that's over near me in Greece, near Charlotte.
On Dewey?
Yeah.
There's a Wegmans on Dewey?
Yes.
Yes, there is. I know the one you're talking about, Jose.
I'm sorry, not Dewey. Mount Reed.
I was about to say, yeah,
Mount
I
Reed.
know where that one is.
Oh, Wegmans on Mount Reed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, cosigner.
Yeah, no, but I know the
liberal.
We had to go each other. No matter what. No
I
matter
can
what.
see what you were picturing. Yeah.
Yes, the one on Mount Reed. Yes,
Yeah,
I know
past
where that one
Tops.
is. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been there.
Yes,
Do you know where the pickup line is for freaking curbside pickup?
I do.
Where is it?
Well,
If you give me directions.
well, unless they moved it, I'm pretty sure it's to the like once you come into the main doors, just looking around, it's to your left. You're like you make your sharp left. You got all the prepared foods also, like hot and ready pickups. It's like just all to your left, all that stuff to the left of the
All
store.
right, he's wrong.
Oh,
So
okay.
I pull in off of Mount Reed. I take a left into where you would, if you continue to go straight, you're going behind Wegmans. But you have to take a right in order to actually go to where you're alongside the east side of Wegmans. Because, you know, I'm a man and I use directions.
Oh, okay.
As women don't, I guess. So I pull in and I automatically, like, I only know going into Wegmans. I only know park, go in.
Right.
So I was like, all right, I remember there's spaces right here. There's like 4 spaces right here that if you pull into it, you tell them the number maybe, and then
Oh,
they'll
you talking
come out.
about that pickup?
No, shut up. Hold on.
Confused, man. What you talking
Right.
about?
I was confused too. So I pull up and I go up to the parts that are, you know, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and all of them were booked and there was nobody in their vehicle. So I'm livid, right? I'm like,
oh yeah.
well, damn, I'm coming here to get curbside pickup where they bring it out to your vehicle, and come to find out that wasn't the spot. I had to call my wife. I'm driving around the parking lot trying to find a freaking spot, calling my wife. I'm literally sending her pictures of where I am because, you know, I don't have an iPhone right now.
What were you picking up? Were you picking up a meal or were you
No, I was
picking
picking
up
up
groceries?
groceries.
Oh, okay.
So I end up like just alerting Wegmans that I'm here so that I can maybe see someone come out with the cart of groceries that has a Wegmans shirt on so I can follow them. That's what I did. I'm here, motherfuckers. I don't know where the freaking food is. I don't know where to freaking go here. So I see him and I pull up and I see that he's going towards this one area. The signs are not facing where I'm driving towards, which is the normal way to drive towards. And I pull around and I find it finally. And I told the guy, young employee, I said, I'm like, look, dude, I know this isn't your fault, but this is very hard for me to find. Like I know directions. I know how to find things. I'm not freaking crazy. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but tell your management that they need to put some signage out here. He's like, yeah, cool. Here's your groceries. Like they didn't care, right? So I called the manufacturer. I called the manager. I feel like an old man at this point. The story is the moral of the story here is I'm an old man at this point. My birthday is next week. I feel old as hell calling the manager and complaining that I couldn't find where to go for the freaking pickup. Listen, if you want to go to grocery curbside pickup at the Wegmans on Mount Reed Boulevard.
Dewey.
Yeah.
You definitely don't go to the grocery
It
store.
is on the west side. It's on the northwest side of Wegmans, facing the freaking
But one
pickup.
of my pet peeves though is the
Long
people-
story for no reason. I feel like
no,
old man
it's
at that
fine
point.
because I don't like parking in.
My wife is commenting here now.
Yeah, I see. She corrects you on.
Yeah, she
Dewey
should have
at
corrected me
Wegmans.
on giving me directions.
But I don't like when people park in the pickup spots.
No.
Like just like I wouldn't park in the
Handicap spot?
pregnant woman spot.
Oh, you wouldn't
they
do
have.
that?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, hell no. I feel like that's
See,
sexist as hell.
See,
I'm joking, everybody.
See,
Jeez,
that's
you
what
see the
people-
freaking.
that's what fucks everything
Even
up.
Austin was about to go
that
off.
fucks up Wegman shit, right? But
I wouldn't do that. That's crazy.
you know, I think they probably need more spots now. But then again,
No,
if
signage.
you take more parking spots for the people that don't give a fuck if you're picking up or not, they see it's an open spot and they're lazy and they're not gonna go move down further. They're just gonna have more numbered spots with more people parking in these numbered spots, and you're gonna just be driving around in circles.
The funny part was the number spots, right, where I thought was curbside pickup, but it wasn't. Somehow it was like go inside and it's ready for you and just grab it and go. The next parking spot over was the the handicap spot. So I'm parked behind the spots that there's nobody in and it's curbside pickup. What I thought, I'm like, I'm gonna park behind them. As soon as they leave, I'm like, yo, motherfucker, why didn't you freaking?
Curse
Why
them
are
out,
you not
right.
in your vehicle getting the pickup
Right.
like I am, like
Right.
a douches? The freaking people that come out to the handicap spot, not handicap at all.
Mm.
There was no
course not.
sticker. There was no signage on their rearview mirror.
What color were they?
I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not answering that. But I gave her some looks.
You gave her that
I gave
eye?
her some looks.
You gave her that eye?
She knew I was looking at her like, how dare you,
Mm.
you bastard.
Way to answer that question without answering that question.
I've been in enough trouble for racism.
Yo, I am the shield from that, bro. I got you. Let me say it. Yo,
You know
black
what you're not
folks-
the shield for?
What's that?
So the left has no tolerance for discipline or actual standards. We have the Fetterman rule now, right? You can't shield us against the Fetterman rule. Doesn't matter if you're a congressman. Doesn't matter if you're freaking there for the Senate. Mr. Fetterman decides to wear what the hell he wants to wear.
Wow.
You see that freaking douchebag right there? What he wears to a freaking meeting to decide the fate of all Americans in this country?
And this guy beat Dr. Oz.
Right. So for those of you out there who are listening in, who are not watching the video, just guess what this freaking ogre-looking bastard is wearing. He's wearing sweatshirts and gym shorts with freaking gym sneakers. He looks like he straight came from the gym.
I don't even think he came
Austin's
to the
looking
gym.
something up.
There's no way he came to the gym.
He promised during his election that even though he wore sweatshirts all the time, that when he showed up to, the meetings, he would wear a suit. He promised that. He promised it. So now, according to AP, the Senate ditches the dress code. And it's not just the Senate. It was our senator, our state senator, that old ass bastard.
Who's that? Oh, you talking about Chucky Boy?
Chucky Boy.
Oh my gosh.
Tells the sergeant at arms, we're no longer going to have a dress code here because of this disgusting bastard. Uncle Fester. That's a much better way to put it. Uncle Fester.
To be fair, that's what a suit looks like in Pennsylvania.
That's, you know what? He's spot on with that one.
Yeah. Have you been to Pennsylvania?
I mean, he ain't going too far out there.
Even the freaking Amish dress appropriately. Says Senate ditches dress code as Fetterman and others choose casual clothes. Others? You know what the other person was wearing? He's from Texas and he wore jeans, cowboy boots, and a button-down shirt. He didn't wear a tie. I believe you need to wear a suit and tie when you show up as a congressman or as a senator. I believe you need to. I feel bad showing up to city council not wearing a tie. No, I don't. I feel bad not showing up in a suit. I look fashionable, though. I'll be showing up in my freaking pants that are a little too high, with my no-shows, with some freaking bomb-ass Allen Edmonds shoes.
If I was ever elected, an elected official, I would come to work with a niggas for Trump shirt all day. Why not?
No, I'd kick you out as well.
Why? Why not?
No, because that's
you
not
can
appropriate.
wear whatever you want now.
No, that's not. It doesn't matter. Just because you have the right to.
Because I'm black.
Just because you have a right to doesn't mean it's the right to.
So what? I'm black. I can say it, and I'm gonna rock.
There's no quotes on that one.
No.
Oh, okay.
As long as you have a pocket on your shirt, that's good enough.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
I heard a comedian talking about Carhartt and how he was like, you used to know a person that wore Carhartt. You used to know where they lived. Their house usually had wheels on it.
Hey, now that's just my RV.
Ann says this is so wrong. Guarantee that we would be sent home if we wore this outfit to work. Absolutely, but that's not the problem. Problem here is they have no tolerance for discipline or any actual standards. That's the problem. When you have no standards and you have no discipline, you will allow anything. And that's where we are in this country. So this right here is a signal to the rest of everybody else that we don't care anymore. Striker says, I'd wear my Pabst Blue Ribbon shirt. All right, a PBR shirt might be okay. You also would claim to everyone that you have wheels on your house, which is not a bad thing. So anyone out there that lives with wheels on their house, don't be mad at me. But that's embarrassing. That's truly embarrassing.
No, that is. That's bad.
If freaking look, I'm not a big fan of Chuck Schumer. If Chuck Schumer showed up like that, I'd probably kick him in the balls.
And he actually waved to the camera like he was
right.
He's cool. He's good.
He ain't nothing. He doesn't even know where he is.
No.
He's asking for ice cream and a freaking popsicle stick up his back end.
Ooh.
I saw in a movie one time. He said, what does he say? He's like, he's talking about people being freaks. He's like, hey, I'm not here to judge. I like yogurt down my throat and a popsicle stick up my back. No, yogurt up my ass and a popsicle stick down my throat. That's what he said. So I messed up the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was from, but that's...
I'm a freaky guy. I don't know what to tell you. I watch weirdo freaking shows.
We was talking about a Zelda porn earlier.
It was not Zelda porn this time. It was actually Always Sunny in Philadelphia, one of my favorite shows of all time. If you haven't seen it, see it.
It's a good show.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Workaholics.
Never saw.
Fantastic shows. You can watch literally like 10 episodes in a row.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld is
tier.
always.
Speaking of Congress, Congress now is reimbursing congressmen and congresswomen for guess what? Give me a guess. Give me a guess what they're reimbursing them for.
Rent, food, and other expenses.
That's exactly what they're reimbursing them for.
Wow, he's
You're
good.
spot on. House lawmakers reimbursed for rent, food, and other expenses as new policy takes effect. Lawmakers have complained for years about the difficulty of affording a second home. The difficulty of affording a second home in Washington, D.C.
How fast are they gonna like bankrupt this country?
Why aren't they in barracks?
I don't know. That would make sense, but then it would be harder for them to kind of cut deals,
Right.
away from the.
I think we should go back to that.
Yeah.
Now, I say go back to that, but I was in barracks. I was fine. And I say barracks because in the regular army, I had my own room and I had my own bathroom. The bathroom was attached to my room. It was a small, tiny room. Actually, the bedroom and the bathroom was smaller than this room right here. It was small. It was tiny.
So
But-
they're equivalent to soldiers, you think?
You're a public official. Absolutely. You're not equivalent to no, not to soldiers. What I'm saying is you're a public official. You're there to do a job. You're not there to freaking live in a second home where you can bring your freaking, second wife and your second husband over if you dare want. I have a buddy. He tells me there's a lot of that.
Well, they're all broke anyway. Most of them.
They're not broke. You know what they make?
Did you see the video where they were talking about all of the people within Congress who have a rap sheet longer than rappers?
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of these motherfuckers is broke. That's probably why they take the stands that they take, because they are nothing but political whores. They're not speaking for the people. They're speaking for who's lining their pockets so that they can pay for their rent, pay for their food, pay for whoever pact they signed on to, whatever lobbyist is aligning their pockets with whatever the hell they're lining their pockets with, whether it be money, whether it be drugs, whether it be, prostitutes or, kids. Who knows what the hell these people want?
So compensation for most senators, representatives, delegates, and the resident commissioner from Puerto Rico is $174,000. Are you telling me that you couldn't afford 2 apartments on $174,000?
Well, they're living in DC. It's expensive over there. It's very expensive in DC.
Are you saying it's okay for us to reimburse them?
Absolutely not.
It seems like you're giving excuses.
No, I'm not. I'm not giving them any excuses whatsoever.
Should they live in barracks?
They should live with whatever salary that we give them, and they have to live within their means.
Well, they're not. They're getting reimbursed.
Then they shouldn't be in Congress.
That means all of their dispensable
or the
income.
House. They shouldn't be in the House of Representatives.
That's a congresswoman right there.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Okay.
So
AOC is broke.
She didn't make much money being a bartender, and she does live in New York City. So she needs a second place, obviously. $174,000. How much is average rent in New York City for, I don't know, a single room? What, 2,500, 3,000? Let's say 3,000. So that's $36,000 a year. So let's mark that down to $140,000 that she has to pay for rent in DC. $140,000. Rent and food.
Well, hey,
is that not enough?
I don't know. Whatever. Hey, she's got to have a social life too. She was on the Met.
Giving her
she was at the Met Gala, bro. She was at the Met Gala.
Yeah, she got her dresses for free as well.
Yeah, but she was at the Met Gala. She's rubbing elbows with celebrities. She's got a lifestyle to maintain. She's got to do her thing.
Another interview that we had, which I found awkward, that the NPR, those people, one of the mass media corporations. We had Moms for Liberty last week on Monday. If you haven't listened into that radio show, I thought it was a really good episode. But NPR had harsh words for Moms for Liberty. They said they are among the conservative groups named extremist by Civil Rights Watchdog. based on your time being in the same room as someone who's from the Moms for Liberty, would you claim that they are extremist?
Now, Jennifer is definitely not an extremist, and I appreciate the work that Moms for Liberty does. And this goes right back to what we were talking about before. Whatever agenda, and you use these far left media outlets like NPR, which I'm pretty sure is being financed by the Bill Gates of the world and the World Economic Forums of the world, those people.
The George Bozos?
Yeah, anybody that they see as a threat to this overall agenda will be considered an extremist.
Yeah.
This is an all-out assault on freedom of speech. This is tyranny. This is everything that we fear within the government. This is it right here.
I agree, because someone said it to me and I was like, what are you talking about? And I had to go look it up. I said, well, we had them on the show, right? And they're like, why would you have them on the show? I'm like, what do you mean? We just had them on the radio show. They talked about the things that they're fighting for that's happening in our schools. And you're telling me that they're far right extremists? Like, I didn't think they were far right extremists. I think that she gave actual legitimate concerns from most mothers out there and families out there. And then I came across it on the Civil Rights Watchdog group. That's the thing. If you're labeled a extremist by a civil rights watchdog group, I'm going to go ahead and
who's this? Don't that civil rights watchdog group? Don't fight for my civil rights, please. Don't speak for me, motherfucker. Please
don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm good. I would rather have Jennifer and the Moms for Liberty fight for me, because they do a hell of a job, and they're tenacious. They're like some pit bulls out there that will
mama bears
they
out
will
there
fuck you up over their kids.
Oh yeah.
And they have every right to, though.
It is a badge of honor, Barbara. You're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a badge of honor.
It should be. And they should contact that civil rights watchdog and say, hey, let's have a conversation and let me know if you agree with these specific things that we're fighting for.
I think most people should go back and listen to just go to WYSL 1040. That's 1040.com. You can look at the podcast on there. Look up for the freaking Politically Correct podcast. You can look on there and listen in.
What's the civil rights watchdog name? What's the group?
While Austin is looking, I'll look it up. The Civil Rights.
I would love to know who they are.
Dog group, Moms.
And everything that she said was completely necessary and needed for people to listen to and be aware of as a parent with kids in school.
Southern Poverty Law Center. Southern Poverty Law Center.
Law Center?
Yep. Southern Poverty Law Center.
Let's look into that group. Yeah, let's look into the Southern Poverty Law Center.
The first paragraph in the article says, more than 2 years into a conservative push against teaching about Black history.
Oh, there you go.
Literature and gender identity in public schools, the Southern Poverty Law Center has concluded that a dozen so-called parental rights groups behind the movement are extremists. The civil rights organization particularly focuses on the largest of these, the nonprofit Moms for Liberty, in its annual Year in Hate and Extremism report.
Can we find out how they're funded, the Southern Poverty Law group?
That's a fantastic question.
They have to be getting money somewhere. And for NPR to actually give a fuck what they say, to me, it seems like this is like a little Trojan horse of their own. Oh, yeah. Look at this website. This is very well put together. This has some really good money behind it. This got some real good money. Oh, yeah. Look at this. I've never even heard of these motherfuckers.
Why are they Southern? Why aren't they like
who's down at the bottom? What's down at the bottom? Who does it have affiliates?
Yeah, so I'm looking at right now. Friends of the Center. Let's see.
There's financial information. Let's see that.
Oh, there you go. Look at the financials. Gifts of cryptocurrency. Oh
my gosh, these people are crazy.
Gifts from your IRA. Dang, you can give up your IRA to them.
Whoa. This is crazy.
Create your will for free. You can create your will for free and
through donor contributions. No government funds are received or used for its efforts during its last fiscal year. The SPLC spent approximately 70% of its total expenses on program services at the end of the fiscal year. The SPLC's endowment, composed primarily of board designated funds to support future work, stood at $731 fucking million. That is alarming. That money is not coming from donations from anybody other than, hey, is the Soros Foundation? Are they one of the donors for this?
Gotta be.
The donors for this has to be.
You don't think that just 731 million people donated $1?
$1 a day keeps the extremists away.
Because
that's a lot of fucking money from some
they have a
frivolous organization. Of course NPR is gonna listen.
They have a map.
A hate map. Oh my God.
Oh, look at this map.
Oh, look, Rochester's there.
Oh, yeah, what we got?
Oh, shoot.
Easter Tidings, Carolyn Emmerich.
Wow.
I want to, you know what?
This is dangerous. Yo, look at this.
Okay.
Was it Easter Tidings?
Look at there. Look, anti-LGBTQ. This is crazy, bro.
Easter Tidings, Carolyn Emmerich. We might have to donate to her just to piss some people off.
Just cuz.
Easter. I don't even know what is that.
Fuck. Wow. Now we know. Who
in
this
2022,
is.
53 hate and anti-government groups were tracked in New York. Hate and anti-government groups were tracked in New York.
Why do they care? Why are they standing up for the government?
Oh,
could this be just another backdoor Democratic operation that we just, they're just funneling money through?
They're named as a neo-Volkish. What does that mean? Because above it, we have anti-LGBT. We have anti-government movement, which are the Constitutional Party of New York. We have the Constitutional Coalition of New York State. We have the Center for Family and Human Rights, which is anti-LGBT. We have Catholic Family News and Catholic Family Ministries, which is radical traditional Catholicism.
Oh my gosh.
We have the Foundation for Advocating Christian Truth, which is anti-Muslim.
Hey, Austin, go back up. What did it say about something about anti-white people? Wait, what did it say?
We got House of David and House of Israel, which are general hate. And Israel United in Christ, general hate. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, general hate. Jewish Task Force, general hate. Jeez.
Look at this. In 2022, neo-Volkish
what is that?
adherents focused on issues that animated the broader American right, including critical race theory, and anti-COVID-19 vaccine conspiracy theories. Oh my God. As much of neo-Volkish ideology centers on misplaced fears about the replacement of white people, many hate groups focus on homeschooling in 2020. This makes
hateful.
Yo, this makes no sense. This is particularly true with the AFA as a means to disrupt the flow of accurate educational information about the history of racism and interactions of structural oppression in the United States. This is a whole bunch of bullshit.
Many adherents to the neo-Volkish ideology also latched onto conspiracy theories about safety and inoculation measures against the COVID-19 pandemic being aimed at controlling and ultimately suppressing white people.
Wow.
Like other hate groups, not neo-Volkish adherents opportunistically harness conspiracy theories to avoid contributing to an equitable, multiracial democracy.
Wow. Hey, Moms for Liberty, y'all don't got nothing to worry about this group. That's just
Southern Poverty Law Center.
The fact that you got George Soros' attention, and
if anyone knows any of these neo-Volkish groups, if anyone knows this Easter Tidings or this Carolyn Emmerich, whatever this is, I would love to meet them.
I don't know that it's real. The first thing that comes up if you type it into
I didn't see
Google
anything.
is Southern
Poverty Law Center.
Yeah.
Did they make it up?
That's what I'm thinking.
If anyone out there knows about this, because I'm gonna guess that a place that who was that guy? Who was that group that was involved with January 6th? Proud Boys.
Oh yeah,
They probably don't have a
Boys,
website. I'm guessing, right?
No.
They are 501c3 or 501c. Stryker says. What does that say above it? SPLC is
run by commies.
Run by commies.
And what was the name of that group again? I'm just checking one more thing. What was the name of that group? The
Easter.
Easter Tidings.
Easter Tidings. That sounds so good though.
No, the
Neo-Volkish.
Volkish.
Volkish.
Southern Poverty Law Center. There we go.
Man, I was trying to third one that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's ahead? With the continued acquisition of real estate, the expanding online and social media presence, which we can't find, and the expansion of the homeschooling program, the membership and relevance of the Asatru Folk Assembly continues to grow. So we have the Asatru Folk Assembly. Across the Neo-Volkish landscape, reliance on imagery and myths of a romanticized Viking era to transcend nationalism and wield whiteness to suit their ill-conceived ends.
The Open Society Foundation announced a $10 million initiative to confront hate in response to the national wave of hate incidents, to threat of forcible removal, undocumented immigrants, and the fear pervading communities across the country. The Open Society Foundations today announced a $10 million initiative to support to protect those targeted by hateful acts, harsh rhetoric, and policy proposals during the 2016 presidential campaign that drew on racist, sexist acts, anti-immigrant, anti-Muslim, anti-Semitic, anti-LGBTI. This was in 2016. LGBTI and other forms of hate have encouraged a wave of physical and verbal attacks nationwide. The Southern Poverty Law Center has received over 700 reports of hateful harassments and intimidation since November 8th. The Open Society Foundation initiative is an effort to move swiftly to address this urgent. So this is George Soros's group.
You got to hear the rest of this paragraph here. Let me read this to you. Ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Adherents have turned to VK, MeWe, and Telegram platforms while moving away from more mainstream spaces such as Facebook. They continue recruiting. This is a big word. Proselytizing, hosting podcasts, and coordinating events across the country using a false message of inclusivity, brotherhood, and fraternity. False message of inclusivity, brotherhood, and fraternity. You know what? We might have to become a anti-Volkish group or whatever, or Neo-Volkish group.
Hey, shout out to Moms for Liberty for getting on the, you are on their fucking radar. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jen.
This leads to our conspiracy theory of the week.
Hey.
Question. Did the America we remember, which is what, the MAGA people are all about, make America great again, people are about, ever really exist? Or did they just hide it better? Was the thought of America ever really in existence? Or was it always underground where they did their thing and we're just now seeing it more?
The thought was always there.
But did it ever actually exist? Or were those who were in power behind the scenes always there, their dirty little fingers? Like, because they say the church is behind it. They say the Pope is behind it. They say the British government is behind it. They say that the capital America, they say that your social security number is being used. They say that that's why your name is all in capital letters with your security number.
Right.
Did that America ever really exist, or did they hide it better?
I'll say yes and no, because politicians live double lives, right? Even all the way back to the beginning, George Washington, he lived a double life. Like, he was president claiming freedom, but he owned slaves. Right? So
canceled. We got to cancel him.
Yeah, no, you don't got to cancel them. Like, the morality of slavery, that was always in question, right? And Thomas Jefferson was one of the first presidents to say, like, yo, this is wrong. And, he actually stopped the importation of more slaves, He was the first president to do so. That was always on the table. And again, the morality of slavery is just a whole different conversation. However, I do think politicians did live double lives, so they were double dipping into that American dream. But
were they using it to kind of?
Oh, absolutely. They were using it to their advantage. They were the first ones to kind of manipulate the system, use it to their advantage. But at the same time, when the banksters kind of came into play and then they started to, control them, which we have right now, the American dream is, it's still available.
Is it?
It is.
The thing is, was it ever really available, or was it always a stretch beyond our capacity?
Yes, I think so. I think you, however way you navigate, your way through America, and you exercise your right and you approach life without fear, you're going to be successful. I think the moment you kind of progress to a level where you become a threat to someone else's money, like if you, let's say,
like the government.
Well, not even fuck the government. The government only reacts to who's ever on the other side telling the government to react for them. Whatever corporation that doesn't like you to do what you're doing, they're gonna find a way to use the government to do what they do.
But the corporation that was the British government, when they taxed Americans here living in America, I can't say Americans at that time, but when they taxed them, increased their tax to 3%, just 3%. They overthrew the tea ship. There's a Boston Tea Party.
Boston Tea Party came through
for 3% tax.
Yeah.
We're at what now?
Oh shit, I don't even know.
For every
capital gains tax
4 or 5 months that you work, it's for the government.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the actual income tax percentage is.
Depends on the state that you live in too.
I don't even know who's shacking up for Rochester. Good evening.
Shaking up Rochester.
Shaking up. Okay. Okay. I can't read. Shaking up Rochester. 106.3. Good evening to you. After we implemented the Federal Reserve, we got fucked. Then that's when we really got fucked.
Right. So is there ever going to be in America?
Not until we audit the Fed.
Do you think that's ever going to happen?
No.
So that means we'll never have an America that we aimed for.
Yeah. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing.
The forefathers?
No, not the forefathers.
Oh.
The forefathers of Jekyll Island. They knew what they were doing.
Uh-huh.
They knew what they wanted out of the situation, and we've been pretty much indebted to them ever since. This is why we have all the wars we have. So for that, what you're saying, I would say from 1912, yeah, we lost America then. That's when we lost the ability for the American dream. It's still possible until they just.
But is that the carrot that's like, it's too far for us to actually get it, but it's there for us to always strive for, and yet we'll never hit it? And honestly, I want to hear your take, and I want to hear Austin's take, and I want to hear people's take. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to hear your take. Is America at this point, can we get it back? I obviously we can. What I mean is it still there? Is it the America that we have our, Constitution and our Bill of Rights for? Is that the America that we thought we had? Or has it been hidden from us for so long, and they were doing their dirty deeds underground for so long? And really at this point, now the wool has been taken off our eyelids, and now we're seeing things, and then podcasts and the internet. And now we have the capability to be able to talk about things that they didn't really want us to talk about before.
Oh yeah. It's a problem now. They don't want that shit. They don't want us to be able to conversate and communicate.
Is it too far gone?
Each other.
Is it too far gone to the point where the only remedy is the absolute furthest thing we want?
It will be too far gone when we have the social credit scores and we're literally mimicking everything they got in China.
That's when it's too far gone, because I feel like all throughout COVID, that was probably very far.
But it's too far gone within the sense of, okay, what you're talking about within for this conversation. However, if that happens, the people is going to have to revolt. There will have to be a revolution after that.
Right. And when there's a small revolution where it's not really a revolution, it's really just guys speaking up and then showing up to, Capitol building and then breaking in and sitting on some desks and then they go to jail for 20 something years. How is that not?
That's not what we're talking about. I think within just the January 6th situation, that was staged, that was set up, and that was,
By who?
Well, the people who wanted to be able to call us domestic terrorists.
Oh, you mean it was staged, meaning come on in?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
The head of the CIA said before January 6th, he set the precedent for this shit. He said domestic terrorism is one of the next things that the CIA and FBI were going to be looking for. And they made sure they referenced MAGA extremists. They were targeting folks who, followed Donald Trump. That was the play. But we already know what the alternative is to what we have right now. It is 100% communism. So for every communist regime that has come about, there was a revolution for freedom afterwards, right? So no matter what happens, the people are going to have to come together, and the leaders, the folks who are on the podcast that are talking, they're going to be the leaders unless they find a way to take us out
or come out saying that you're with sexual misconduct allegations.
We see it happening. We see what they are doing.
They have attacked every single time.
Yeah.
They went after Joe Rogan for what he used the word N-word, right? He used the N-word.
Yeah, on like a stand.
But yet the late night host can have blackface and nothing.
Yeah. Oh, blackface and molest children and all.
Molest children and be on Epstein Island and nothing is done.
Yep.
Austin, your thoughts?
Well, I don't know that I buy into the entire that it's like a concerted effort to destroy what America is.
Okay.
I do think America has changed significantly from what it was, even just a couple decades ago, and I think you can see that just
1 decade ago.
I was thinking about that. I think 2016 was a turning point.
Okay, Obama.
Yeah, the Obama to Trump. That was the same year that Caitlyn Jenner became a thing.
Dang.
It was 2016 was
won the Woman of the Year award.
Right. 2016 I feel like is a historic year.
Okay.
In terms of the change of what America was to what it is. And I think it's a cultural change. I think it's a sweeping just the difference between my generation and the generation 10 years younger than me feels huge. That gap feels gigantic.
Alpha generation.
And I think we can go back if you're talking about things that set up to today, bro. You can go back.
I don't think that's what he meant. I think it's more of how far it went within a short time period.
Yeah, but this hasn't been just a short time period. This has been a concerted effort from president to president for decades, bro. For decades. Even going past JFK, probably I would say going back to Woodrow Wilson. Once we implemented the Federal Reserve,
why not George Washington?
There you go. From the very reason.
Beginning.
From the very beginning. And what we talk about as far as a new world order, the same people, the same players, right, that had the money then still have the money now, and
more of it.
And they think they're more powerful than political leaders anyway. So if they had this agenda and you're passing your money down from generation to generation, and they had that global domination as their agenda from the beginning.
Well, they said $10,000 will buy you a senator.
And that doesn't take, maybe 10,000 and a hooker, prostitute, or
a trip to an island,
child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't take much. It don't take much. We were just talking about they want to pay for rent and room and board. What the
on
fuck?
top of $174,000. Yeah.
Come on, bro.
You were okay with it?
No, I was not okay with it.
Oh, it sounded like you were very much okay with it.
I was not okay with it. I was poking fun at their needs and their situation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I was just saying, hey, it's expensive to live in DC.
So I would say 2012.
2012 was
because
2012. Was that?
That's when the Mayan calendar said that the world was going to end.
Oh.
And do you think it just like started ending?
And that's when the world, remember the polar, what was it? Shit, the magnetic poles were
Right.
swapping.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that the world literally turned on its freaking
Okay.
ass end, and everything just went crazy after 2012, because that's when we have the racial shit with, you know, Obama saying, you know, he that could be my son.
Oh,
That's when
Trayvon.
that's when he went from, you know, I believe that a marriage is between a man and a woman, to I am going to be the first pro gay marriage president.
But you don't think 9/11, Bush, and all that stuff, that wasn't part of it also?
No, I think, see, the way that I see it is so much more has happened between our generation here. Like you weren't around really in certain things, like the, you know, the first Bush war. You weren't alive back then, were you?
No, I was born.
Desert Storm?
I was born in '92, so
Yeah, so you're way before you.
I was I was around for 3 months of the first Bush administration.
Right. So we had the original Bush war.
So you don't know what "read my lips" means?
I don't know that.
Oh, damn.
No new taxes?
Classic. No new taxes. Read my lips.
Oh, okay.
Didn't work.
Didn't, not at all. But the problem, I get that there's been a continually of men and women, I'm saying men in general, of humans who, once you get a little bit of power, you want a little bit more. Like, you can't just have this. And then on top of that, they feel as if, and we get the dumbest people in politics. I'm telling you, I promise you, we have the dumbest people in politics.
That's true.
I said it before on a radio station. I'll say it right here. Dumbest people in politics, where they have no life skills whatsoever, meaning they can't decide anything beyond right here, right now. They have no long-term capability of understanding what's going to happen from this decision right here. What will happen 3, 5, 7, 9, 12 years from now? Because we know what happened with the mask mandates. We know what happened with the shutdown of everything, businesses and schools, for way longer than 15 days. And I understand that we didn't know what the hell was going on. I get it. And I was with it the first, you know, when they came out and said, look, let's just shut down for 2 weeks. Let's figure this stuff out. We're going to take care of everybody. And we're going to make sure that in, you know, after 15 days, we're going to slow down the spread and we're going to be good. After it went past a month, I was like, that's when I was like, I'm done with this. I can't, there's no way that we can continue paying for our own bills and be able to continue growing our business and be able to afford paying for our freaking house that we live in, unless we just decide to go back to work, put our business back into action. They wanted us to continue closing down longer. Remember, before we weren't allowed to go back into bars, we had to order it. They could bring it outside. And then we went into, oh, you can't go inside, but you can have the igloos outside. And then it wasn't, you couldn't just order food. You couldn't order drinks at the bar. You had to order food with it. And you still had to be 6 feet away. And the businesses had to cut their employment by 75%. And then it went to, you can order food, you can order drinks, but at the same time, you still have to be 6 feet away. And it's 50% of the businesses can open back up. And then as soon as you sued, then those businesses were allowed to open back up, but not the businesses that didn't sue.
Yeah, this is the same play though that's been done for years, bro. Like any time, you know, a government wants to overreach, they implement these types of measures.
But then they give back a little bit at a time. That was my problem right there. Was you know, you took away our rights. You know, you took away our entire livelihood of being able to be a self-sustaining human being, except for politicians and except for the billionaires and except for the, you know, people who are considered worthy to be working.
Shaking up Roger Obama is gay.
But let's do the COVID update. We don't have the scary music for this one.
Wait, what was the conspiracy though? That's the conspiracy.
The conspiracy is that did it ever really work? And was it ever really there, or was it all a facade? This flag that I bear on me at all times, this flag that I freaking put behind you, the flag that I freaking have all around me that I really love and I support, and I stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I put my hand on my heart, and I put my freaking hand up on my forehead. Did it ever really exist?
If you believe in secret societies and that there is a...
Go further. What if you believe in the Matrix?
So that the secret societies created, right? Within it?
Further than that.
You know,
What if secret societies are being used by aliens?
by aliens? I mean, you can go really far. Who knows? Like the reptilians that they talk about.
Well,
within the
we're talking about
Vatican? Who
aliens now.
knows?
So now there's aliens literally out in the open.
That's now. I think there is a little bit of bullshit within just
You think
what
there's
we're
a
seeing.
little bit of bullshit?
I think
there?
there's a little bit of bullshit in what we're seeing right now within that.
So then
right?
what's the outcome? You can't bring up aliens and not have an outcome for it. We can't lose a freaking $58 billion freaking jet.
I'm waiting for the fucking aliens to come so I can be like, all right, let's shoot this motherfucker, cut his arm off, and let's see if it's a human underneath this.
You would never be able to hit it. Are you kidding me?
Again, I just want to see it. Like, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it. Let's move on from it. Let's go.
Once you see aliens, there's no going back. There's no
Just
moving
make
on.
the play World Economic Forum.
Just
Make
do it.
the play globalists. Do what
and
you're
then
gonna
do what?
do.
And then do what?
Then we're gonna have to revolt.
Wait, are you going to do it?
Hell yeah! Listen,
Are you sure you're going to do it?
Listen, put
Because
it
that's
like
my
this.
thing. I think that there's a lot of people that talk the talk, but I don't think there's a lot of people who are willing to walk the walk.
Bro. Okay, if you are fearless now, and if you understand that it's either liberty or death, if you're willing to ride within those circumstances,
Mhm.
ready to die for your freedom.
But if that freedom never existed, is what I'm saying. That's a conspiracy theory.
No
Did it ever
no
exist?
matter who the government that's in control,
Mhm.
Austin's gonna get probably squeamish on this. Your right to live freely is a gift from God.
Right.
So if you understand that your maker, your creator, whoever you adhere to within your reason for being on this earth, that's who you need to worry about.
Then we should have already revolted.
Not
Because
everybody.
our rights are already infringed
but
completely.
within this society, within your everyday life, if you can make it through this bitch, right, with happiness and you die in peace with a loving family, you made it. You made it.
What does that
Thank
mean?
God.
Die
What-
in peace.
What it means is that you died in peace, and us who are here in this living hell right now, right? We got
That we allowed?
We gotta figure
That we
this shit
allowed?
out. We gotta figure it out, bro.
Yeah.
We have to figure it out, because at the end of the day, what if what happens, what we talk about all the time, and it's too late, just like you said, if that shit happens, then the question is, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna be dead. I'm gonna take a bullet probably for my family, because I'm taking bullets right now. I'm putting myself out here in a public platform talking shit about people.
I'm taking the bullets. You're taking the daggers.
Listen, whatever. Daggers, bullets, arrows, what have you. I'm getting shots. I'm taking shots
Taking shots.
from another group or organization that do not agree with me, because they want me to adhere to their bullshit. And I'm saying no.
So why don't you punch them in the face?
If I could punch the entire World Economic Forum, the WHO,
That's so
the
high up that you don't have
CDC,
to do. You don't have to go that far.
If I could
You can
punch,
literally go down to
if I
down
could
the
punch
street.
a Rockefeller, a Soros, a fucking whoever.
And Austin Scott.
No, never Austin. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I appreciate it.
What
Look,
Emily
I'll
said,
wrestle you, Austin. I'll wrestle you. I won't punch you.
All right.
Emily said, if
Bring it.
we have a republic, if we can keep it, only immoral people can be self-governed with less government. That's true.
Yes, because we see what they're doing. We saw what they're doing in what was it, Arizona? No, New Mexico, when they took away the gun rights because they said, well, there's a emergency order, so therefore you can't have guns. That should have been that should have been
But
guns
it goes to show
blazing.
that we don't need a government.
That should have been guns blazing.
Yeah, we don't specifically.
I'm calling New Mexican people. You guys are pussies. You guys are pussies. You guys are pussies. Straight up pussies. If you live in New Mexico and you're a gun owning freaking bastard,
What do you think is going to happen
Pussy.
to the criminals if the whole system falls? They're going to be the ones that's ruling shit, running shit.
no, because there's gonna be a lot of good people that have the proper mentality of how to use a weapon, when to use a weapon, and how to keep your ass in
Yo,
check.
Criminals are different, bro. They are.
Yeah, they shoot like
organized entity.
this, which doesn't give you very much.
You're talking about like, hood criminals.
I've seen it in a movie, dude. I've seen it in a
talking
movie.
So the cartel ain't shit happening to the cartel.
They got a lot of bullets.
They got a lot of bullets. They got a lot of money. They are governments within themselves.
Right. They're not. Do you think they're getting fingerprinted every time they get
They don't
bullets?
give a fuck.
Are they doing a background check to get bullets?
Ain't nothing gonna happen to
Right.
like,
So,
yo.
hey, New York, you guys are idiots if you're falling for this because
No.
there's criminals who are buying bullets off the street for, maybe 25 cents more.
Yo, who's gonna stop a biker gang? Who's gonna stop Hell's Angels from running and doing what Hell's Angels do?
You do understand the government literally did that. Like, the Hells Angels could not meet, and they didn't meet.
There's no one going to touch these groups. No one.
Churches shut down.
No
the
one's
only
going
people
to
that
fuck with
fought back were the only ones who were allowed to open back up early.
them. They're
The
not fucking with them.
businesses, I thoroughly recall many conversations with people, and I said to them, we're going to get into this COVID update. I said to them, look, the only thing I could tell you is to stand your ground and fight, because they're going to take your rights. That's it. You have to stand up and fight against it, or else you're just going to be falling in line like everybody else. COVID update is the New York teachers. You see what the courts gave New York teachers?
Well, they gave them some money back?
All their back pay.
Oh, shoot.
All their back pay.
But what teacher? I didn't know teachers were standing up for anything.
They sure were. There weren't very many.
Mm.
There were not very many.
Congratulations to them.
Right. And so everybody that was like, well, it's easy for you to say, you're getting paid. Trust me, I know it was easy for me to say, but I quit my job because of it as well. I said, I'm not getting tested every freaking week for COVID. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And I'm especially not getting tested by a company that released people's personal financial information to the FBI without any warrant. I was definitely not going to get freaking tested by them.
Talk to them.
Right. So me gave up my steady, I'm not going to say how much, but I was making way more than freaking city council. I was doing very well. And I gave all that up to say, I refuse to do this. I'm not doing it.
Stay.
I'm not doing it.
Said, fuck your
So
couch.
anyone that came to me, they're like, well, it's easy for you to say. I'm like, no, it's not easy for me to say because my income decreased 75%.
But
So the New York teachers win jobs back with back pay after refusing COVID-19 vaccine. A New York judge said city officials were arbitrary and capricious when they denied religious exemption claims to the vaccine mandate.
Mm.
And I said this to my mom as well. My mom lost her job too. And I said, Mom, the only thing you could do is sue. I'm like, that's the best thing you could do is sue. And she's in a class action lawsuit as well.
Yeah.
So as soon as the nurses get their freaking lawsuit time, I can sit there and say, good job.
Yeah.
You stood your ground. Because that's what our family's built on.
Hey,
my family's built on that.
Listen, welcome to Jim Crow.
It's the new age Jim Crow. That's what it is.
Jim Crow, bro.
The haves and has-nots.
Welcome,
you are
welcome to
different
new
than
Jim
us.
Crow.
You are different from us, and you can no longer live in society the same way we can live. Remember all them people that said, well, if they're trying to debate who's going to have freaking, when you go to the hospital, who they should serve. Well, it's pretty easy. If you're vaccinated, you get service. If you're not, hope you don't die. Remember that? That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
They literally wanted you to die. Die.
Hey, we didn't talk about the concentration camps. That is still being
That's still
fought.
being law. Yeah,
That's
still a lawsuit here in New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here in New York, behind the scenes. And I'll shout out, I'm sorry, what is the group? I got to make sure I hit them up. Let me pull them up. I feel really bad. I read your emails, I swear. It's just, I get a million emails a day. Not that one.
Hochul and Letitia is still trying to put everybody in concentration camps. To me, that seems like there's something else coming down the pipeline where the state really
if they're still
needs
fighting,
these.
they're still
They
fighting
need
in
this.
court.
And for those that don't know or understand, our governor and our black attorney general, they're fighting to keep into law the ability to put you in a FEMA camp for medical reasons. If there's a pandemic or any epidemic or whatever the fuck they want to call it, they want to be able to put you into camp. You, your kids, doesn't matter.
It was a local court that they were fighting in. I was supposed to go that morning. That's when it was last week when my freaking water burst. And I was like, son of a bitch, I can't even go.
Yeah.
But it's the Rock Freedom Warrior, right? Rock Freedom. It's a newsletter. And shout out to Mulaney. I've been trying to get her. I tried like last year to get her on the podcast. She's like, not very into having video and audio and people are afraid of that. I have to say, we got to work on this newsletter because that's that's hard to read.
Yeah, I don't know what that's.
And it's a lot of activity. I know a lot of things are happening.
You know, the
we gotta
woman
slim it
who
down.
brought up the who filed the lawsuit is a real estate attorney.
Okay.
Which,
That doesn't seem like a very good attorney for this.
well, she's doing a phenomenal freaking job because she won the first time.
Right. And they fought and said,
And
we're going to go ahead
then
and fight against this.
They filed an appeal through Supreme Court. In the last hour, they had to submit their counter, and they did the last minute. So that's why we're here now. So
these are things that are happening behind the scenes.
yeah. They want to put you in a concentration camp in New York State. Kathy Hochul, Bobby Ann Cox. Thank you, Emily. Kathy wants to put you into a concentration camp.
She doesn't want to put you in there. You obviously want to get put in
But
there.
I don't even think Kathy wants to. Kathy's handlers wants to put us into concentration camp.
That's the thing, is that there's a lot of people out there to say that there's no way that's going to happen again. There's no way I'm going to get the vaccine again. There's no way I'm going to go with the mask mandate again. There's no way I'm going to stay at home again. There's no way, blah, blah, blah. That was just a precursor to what's coming up. Probably what's coming up is going to be 10 times worse. In actuality, it may actually be worse. But the fact that you allowed it to happen the first time means that they can come out with the second time. That's why I say that there was a lot of people who freaking laid their asses down and didn't do shit about it the first time, and allowed people like us to go out there and be very vocally against it, and sat back and say, hey, great job. You're doing awesome. I love what you're doing. I'm sorry I can't be there. I got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. And I got to get my 5th booster. Fantastic. Good for you. Guess what? Shut up. Because I don't want your hype now. Because when it was time to stand up, you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
When it was time to speak out, you weren't there. And now when something worse comes, and it's going to be worse, and it's going to impact a lot of people, and people are going to sit there saying, you were anti-vaxxer, you were anti-mask, look at you now, you got freaking, whatever the hell is going to be, monkeypox, something worse than what it was before. It's got to be something worse, because it's going to have to hit people in a way that's going to be so tremendously bad that people are going to have to sit there and say, haha, look at you, look what you did, this is all on you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen, because not enough people stood up last time.
Yeah.
So I would like to think that the America we believe is the actual reality does exist. I want to believe that they just did a very good and very programmatic and very, they did an amazing job of doing it right in front of our eyes and issuing enough propaganda that people were willing to fall in line.
Because they were afraid, though, bro. They were afraid. Like, the amount of propaganda they used to push. Well, I mean, if you see buildings topple 9/11, you're gonna be afraid. Like, you're scared out of your
Not
mind.
topple, implode.
Implode, yes. You're gonna be like, holy shit, I never seen that before. That's crazy. With the pandemic, like the ticker,
allegedly,
the ticker, which they were using for fear,
the big red blob.
Yeah, right. That shit right there, bro. And they know who their audience is. They've been dishing out these anxiety pills like they're candy.
But all the news now comes out and says the mask didn't do anything. The vaccine was not as good as what they did. And they're saying it on CNN, and still the left does not believe it. I said it in a meeting yesterday, and they were saying, about all these, deaths. They're like, can you believe all these kids that are dying young, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, it might be something that happened in the past few years. And they look at me like, you still believe that? I'm like, I'm just saying.
How can you say that you still believe that? Okay, you tell me what you believe. What was debunked?
Look, they haven't. This is the thing. And I trust me, I'm in line with saying it might have been that. Let's look into it, because it might have been the amount of Red Bull that these kids are freaking drinking nowadays. Because these kids are drinking mad Red Bull. And we all know it's bad for your heart. They're drinking mad Red Bull. They're eating mad freaking prepared foods. These kids nowadays are raised on shit. Not only shit, but shit that's bad for you. So it very much could be our lifestyle has caught up to us as Americans.
Or the shit that they put in everything that we have caught up to us. Like I said before, if we look at the numbers of how many people were on antidepressants, how many people are on anxiety medications,
Especially
and then,
teenagers
especially teenagers
from COVID.
right? And then now we're hearing that they want to put mRNA vaccines inside of vegetables,
Everything.
and everything that we're eating, that we're
The
consuming.
meat, they were doing it in the
Yes.
meat without telling
Who's
us.
to say that they're not doing it already? Who said that they've not done it already? Who's to say that they don't even have the data that they know that, okay, let's put this shit into these people's food so that we can hack their brain and make them our lab rats? Because they've done it already. They know it already works on lab rats. So
They've done way worse than that.
They've done way worse than that.
They've injected black people with freaking syphilis.
Syphilis, right? And they said, and they said, go ahead, let's figure it out. Thank you, FDR. But anyway,
not only that, they took people's gold away from them. They said you can't have any gold.
Thank you,
Not allowed to have
FDR.
gold.
Thank you, FDR. Democrat.
Yeah, if you think it's not going to happen and that it would never happen, it fucking happened before.
It's going to happen now.
It happened before. They've already done it.
They could do it with the gold. They could do it with the guns, and that's what they want. Once they disarm us, we are fucking done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Done.
That's the only thing that kept us away from being Australia.
Hey, shout out to Michelle Casilla, because I know she was like, pew pew, don't come. She like, don't come this way, motherfucker. People like that ain't letting that shit ride.
What's the comment? My eggs? Something my
She
eggs
said,
are gonna be.
Oh yeah, my eggs gonna be worth millions. Absolutely.
Allegedly.
You're a pure blood, huh, Barbara?
Can you prove it? How can you prove it?
I know, you never know. You could have ate a salad last week that got some mRNA injected into it.
Or you could have got the vaccine. Now you're saying, well, I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yep. We are to their point of the conspiracy. Yeah, we are screwed, but again, just like our fathers said, anytime that there is tyranny, the leaders, they will rise to the top, and they will,
like what? Like the cream
of the crop,
rise to the top.
Oh wait.
Wait, is that a white?
That is a
white
song.
person thing? What are you talking? What are you implying?
The cream of the crop, I rise to the top.
Oh,
Jeez.
I never been a hater because a hater's a cop. I'm better yet, a Terminator. Like
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
trying to believe me out like anything with Sega. But I ain't going out like no punk, bitch.
Did you guys just make that up?
No,
Yes.
that is Jump Around. House of Pain.
You could have just said we made it up. He has no idea. He was not born in that time frame.
Right. My bad.
Jeez. He was like 2.
Yeah, he weren't ready. You don't know Jump Around? Jump around.
Jump around
Jump up,
and get down.
Get down. Jump.
Yeah, no, I know.
Jump.
Okay.
Jump. We'll have a DJ at our 100th.
I just wanted to see how far you guys would
Podcast,
go.
You scare me.
Oh.
You scare me, Austin. You scare me, man. Don't make a liar out of me. I talk highly of you, Austin.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I've got to say, we put a shit ton in this podcast today.
We did.
We talked about so many different things, and I'm so sorry if we didn't get to your comments.
Today's conspiracies, tomorrow's truth. Absolutely. What did Jen Nardone say? She said some shit too. Jen, I haven't seen her in a minute. Oh, there you go. There's Michelle. Bang, bang. Yeah, what is NBC training, Jose? What's that about? Is that something in the military?
That's in the military.
What does it mean?
That's nuclear, biological, chemical.
Fuck. And it's been on the TV station this whole time.
Well, it's
They're
what you
setting us up for what's
you wear
about to
NBC
happen.
gear. You would wear that, like when 9/11 hit and I was in Korea, we had to wear our NBC gear. We had to have it at the ready at all times because they thought at some point North Korea would freaking do something to us because they're like, well, they just got attacked over there. We can attack them down here. So we had to have our NBC gear at all times. We had our freaking weapons at the ready. It was badass time.
Why?
It was a badass time.
Does the U.S. government?
But think about that for a
use
second.
Korea, though, for that.
But think about that, because there's many veterans out there who were in the military at the time of 9/11, and they were fully battle gear ready. Fully. We have been in position to where we have been prepared to fight for our rights, not just to party, but for our livelihoods. While many civilized Americans have pretended to be in the military. We have literally people that show up to like veteran events in like military regalia pretending like they're in the military. We have people that show up to the airport wearing freaking, BDUs pretending like they're military so they can get some props. There's a lot of people out there that talk a lot of talk. They may not be ready when the shit hits the fan, when the shit hits the fan, they are probably not going to be ready. And that's the whole point of going through the training, was to break you down to the point where you don't think twice. When shit hits, you don't think at all. There's no thinking in the military. You are at the ready.
At the ready.
You know exactly what to do. There's a lot of Americans who pretend like they know what they're going to need to do. They're not going to be ready as they think they're going to be. When someone breaks through your door in the middle of the night because you've been posting the wrong things, do you have enough things between you and that front door so that you can protect yourself and your family?
Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was, Papa, don't hit me no more. That's Biggie Smalls.
Are your weapons easily retrievable? Are they in different areas of the house so that if they were to come into one room, you have a different room to go to?
But then right within that, that's you making that decision. It's liberty or death at that moment. Because we saw what happened in Waco.
Mhm.
If they want you, they're gonna get you.
Right.
Period.
But you don't need very much. You don't need very much to set up a freaking military against an opposing force.
You know, the militia, they're great. Militias are great.
I think we don't. That's the thing. Militias are illegal, right? Illegal. I think that if there is a conscientious group of civilized Americans who feel as though they just need to be ready at all times, they need to congregate and say, let's just be ready together.
The United States worked with a militia to find a Unabomber.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Did you watch Manhunt?
Manhunt. Okay.
Manhunt.
On Netflix?
Yes. Really good show. There's only 2 of them, but it was about the Unabomber and a militia I think it was in North Carolina. They went into the mountains with the FBI and they got his ass. But at the beginning, at first, the FBI was clashing with the militia. They were fucking with the militia. The militia was fucking them up. It's like, nah, bro. Then the FBI is like, okay, we can't beat them, but we got to join them because they know the mountains. They know this area. So that's
a lot right there. A lot of people don't realize.
That's why they want to smoke the folks out in these rural areas. These little forest fires that are happening, they don't want people hiding out in these areas where they know they cannot get to them.
The train wrecks fucking with the water.
Our United States government was a militia.
Yeah.
Like our first military was a militia army.
How we started.
It's how we started. So they know the weakness. The Philippines, Vietnam.
Okay.
Militia. We didn't win that war.
No.
We were
same thing with Afghanistan.
Fucking worked. So they know what we can. Right. Afghanistan. Militia.
As long as you know the territory, you'll
win every time.
Same thing in Colombia. We just could not beat the drug dealers down there, the drug growers, the drug freaking everything down there. They just knew how to handle the terrain.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to learn how to handle the terrain of Rochester.
Yeah, and just like what Stryker just said, yes, how many prior military are there with? That's a problem. That is a problem, and that's probably a problem for any country that wants to try and infiltrate the U.S. We got so many veterans.
Well, that's why no one comes here.
Don't fuck with. No,
that's why no one comes here. And then if they did came here, it's because they got in a plane,
allegedly,
and crashed. Crash the planes. That's the only way they're gonna freaking do something to us. Same thing with Pearl Harbor. The only thing they could do is freaking crash some planes
and hope that our president lets it happen.
Right.
Every time. This motherfuckers is
pussy
crazy,
asses.
Man. Right.
Anyways, next week, should we throw a party here?
We should. Strippers up and down the poles.
Okay, maybe we won't do that. But let me hold on. Let me check.
Yeah.
Tip drill.
You always too far. Always too far. Next week, we're gonna have a party here. If you need to know the address, let us know. We're gonna throw something here. Lavelle will probably be late. Austin will probably be late.
Never. Yo, y'all see my Gorbachev?
Never been late.
Gorbachev
can't
scar
prove that.
now? Like, I got the Gorbachev over here.
Gorbachev.
Gorbachev.
Is that an actual scar?
Yeah, it's from when I passed out.
When black people get a scar that gets darker?
Get darker, bro. Shit, it's going away slowly, but
what are you
Republican
using?
Strippers. Okay. I don't even know who's Xmas 008.
Eximius.
Eximius.
I like the name,
can't
whatever it
read for
is.
Shit today.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank
Republican strippers.
you. Yo.
They probably better.
Probably.
They probably don't have the blue hair. They probably don't have the piercing right
I
here.
know. They're more conservative,
They make you work for it.
respectful.
They make you pay more.
Right.
They say my tax dollars got to go a little bit further. You got to pay me a little more than this.
They hold good conversations.
They're not illegal aliens from other countries.
They're not easily triggered.
They'll marry you for a green card.
You know they'll be actual female.
Oh, so somebody else.
Yeah, Barbara
Right,
said
right.
female.
They don't have a dick.
Good job, Michelle.
Man, everybody.
Yes,
Everyone was on that. I was the last one on that one. I didn't even think about that one. That's fantastic. Good job. I love our fans here. I
Right,
love you
we
guys.
all
Love you
think
guys.
alike.
You guys, we're thinking of the name, the PCP Addicts.
Still in the
Oh,
name.
PCP. Yeah.
Still in the
PCP
name,
addicts.
man.
Keep it going.
Keep it going. Keep it
Wait,
living.
you're not gonna bring it back?
PCP, man, Dan from the streets.
He's too tied up.
He's got 3 kids now.
Dan
Do
from
it
the
from
streets
home. Do it
says,
with the
that's
kids
probably who Eximius
running around in
is.
the background.
Dan from the streets might make a showing next week.
Yeah, he
I
says
think
he
he
says
probably
he
will.
wants to.
All right,
yeah.
fantastic.
Just keep the booze away from him.
No, give him all of it.
Okay.
Everyone, if you're going to show up next week, please
What up, Aaron?
show up, first of all.
What are you laughing at? Oh yeah,
Should have playing with Michelle.
Michelle.
Definitely do show up. Let's do it. What time? We start the podcast at,
6.
well,
That's when we start.
that's when we're supposed to start.
We start the party at
6 o'clock.
5 and come in while we're partying.
Partering?
Partering.
Bartering? Let's say 4:30 will begin. 4:30 begin next week. 4:30 here at the Revere Realty.
Let's
Tom,
do it.
you're invited as well if you want to come. He's in the hot
He
tub right now,
should come.
listening. He's in the hot tub watching us.
Wait, pause. Damn it. He should come. He should make an appearance.
Oh, better.
Here we go.
Much better. He should make an
What, the
appearance.
gay?
No, you said he should come.
I know, I did.
then-
yeah.
then
And
you
make an
fixed
appearance.
it. Yeah,
Much better. Than
Much
that. I don't
better,
know what the
yeah.
fuck I was thinking.
Next week, 4:30. If you need directions, let us know. We got the freaking area. You should know where we are. If you don't, it's available, easily available anywhere. 4:30. We'll make sure that there's food provided somehow, some way. I don't know. Some pizza or something. Not from your place.
The Little Caesars.
Not from
Little
Little Caesars.
Caesars all dizzy.
No, not
Oh,
from,
yeah, yeah.
not from Little
Discount.
Caesars.
Yeah.
I would ask that.
Pontillos.
Yeah, Pontillos.
Pontillos, yes.
Absolutely,
Oh,
Pontillos.
there you go.
Yeah, get a sheet pizza from Pontillos, square cut, of course.
Yeah, if it's a sheet pizza. They only
Yeah, sheet
come
pizza.
right. They only come square cut.
You can ask for anything square cut.
Right, but you can't ask for a sheet pizza pie cut.
You could.
No, you can't.
No, you
You
can't.
could. It'd be a very long freaking triangle,
I don't think they would do.
and
I
then it'd
don't
be
know.
like fat ones on the side. Yes, it
Jose
would.
be
It would
trying,
work.
man. When he know he lost, and he's like, no.
No
like, you
potluck.
can
Sorry, Eximius right there, whoever that is.
stick
No
a
potluck
round-
because you can't.
round peg through a square hole.
You can't trust any of these freaking people out here that be making food in their
I
kitchens.
know,
I don't
yeah.
trust them nasty bastards. You never know. They might not wash their hands. They might have some freaking pubes in it. They might, have Austin beard.
Michelle said she'll
Crumbs
hook
in
up
there.
a pre-show party.
She'll
Make
hook up pre-show
Jose's
party. Thank
favorite pasta.
you. No pasta.
Yeah, make your sauce, lasagna.
The only Italian thing
Yes.
that we're gonna have would be the pizza.
Mm.
Chicken piccata would be good
I can ask Mom Deuce to make some lasagna
There you go,
That's
man.
good.
for
the 99th.
for
Right,
100 people that are gonna show up.
I mean,
No, there's probably gonna be 10 people.
I'll make some mac and cheese.
I'll say 10 people. I'll make sure we bring. I'll have a bunch of White Claws.
ooh,
Oh,
A bunch of White Claws.
oh,
So we'll have a bunch of
Yay.
drinks.
oh.
Not Mission Barbecue. I do appreciate them, but no.
who's
It's
Mission?
gotta be
Barbecue?
pizza. It's the easiest thing to get. Everybody likes pizza.
Pizza and
Exactly.
wangs.
Right. Except for Erin. She can't have pizza. She'll just get the cheese off of it and eat it like a freaking weirdo.
Man.
She's
What?
gluten free.
Gluten free
yeah.
interrupts all of the.
Right. She
Yeah,
messes everybody's
geez.
lives up
Ugh.
by being gluten free.
Figure it out.
Gluten's like the best food.
Gluten is the best food.
Yeah.
Literally. And
I eat my gluten
my stomach
straight.
high. What the hell?
It's not you just gotta have the right gluten free shit. Like
There's no-
some
there's no-
stuff
Yeah,
that's
that does-
okay.
There's
Nah.
no such thing.
Nah,
No such thing.
It's,
Extra
it's a very
gluten.
small list.
Yeah, White Claw.
extra
That's it.
gluten.
White Claw's the only thing.
I inject gluten into, my veins.
Well, next week, 4:30 here. If you have any questions, send us a message. Yeah, we appreciate you all for allowing us to be in your freaking ears and in your eyeballs for 100 episodes. That's insane. Absolutely insane that you guys were willing to freaking keep listening to us. I love it. We keep growing every week. We keep getting more followers. That's amazing. I don't want to call them followers. I think that we're growing our freaking tribe. I think that we are literally brothers and sisters in arms against the nonsense that's happening out here that Austin has allowed in our country.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you guys can come meet Austin in person. Austin, hit that funky music.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you ended it so suddenly.
Oh, Jen got an anniversary badge.
All right, here we go.
I don't know what that means. Anniversary badge. That's awesome.